Good afternoon or good evening. We are talking with the director of Rebecca Gold, once again back across the pond.
Yeah.
He was on our side of the pond for a little bit, and that's what we're here to talk about. Last time we talked about Rebecca Gold and all of that, and this time around, we're going to talk a little more and hear about the trip to the film festival for which Rebecca Gold won. What was the name of that award again?
It won best series, best episode.
There
Best
you
episode,
go.
yeah. It won that. So yeah.
So was this your first time coming over to Oregon?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I mean, it took 10 hours on the plane to fly to San Francisco, and then it was a 1 hour stopover, and then yeah, and then one hour flight to Portland.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a long journey, but it was fun. It's fun. It was coach though, so it was a bit painful. But then again, there wasn't anyone sitting next to me, going and coming, so that was cool.
Oh, that
So
is nice.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
So there you go.
No,
Luck
I'm assuming this
element.
wasn't your first time in the United States. Am I
Nope,
correct?
nope, nope, nope. Been to the States a lot. LA and more New York and New Jersey. New
Ah, yeah.
Jersey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Well, it's not quite a long flight at all from London to New York City. You can get over what in 5 hours, 6 hours?
I think seven. I think it's
Yeah.
seven. I think LA seven as well. Actually, no, I think New York is five. I think I'm not really sure.
Yes, well, I remember when I would go to Ireland, from Dublin to New York, it's
Mm,
not a long flight at all. It's actually a longer flight for us to go across the United States over to the West Coast
yeah.
to do that. Well, great. Well, so it wasn't your first time on the West Coast, but definitely your first time up in Oregon. So I saw some of your pictures. Tell me a little bit about your adventure.
um, I mean, you're talking about the festival. The festival was okay. There was a lot of errors they made though,
Ah,
unfortunately, and it it didn't really spoil things at all. But I guess it was out of their hands. Like for instance, they put they sent all these emails out saying it was shown in this theater, and when we got there, it wasn't. Yeah, and we got there were a few people that were pissed off, and we said, "Has it shown in there?" And they said no. And then we got another email saying it was shown in another theater, so we had to go to this other theater. I mean, that was um, one of the first main problems, and then the second problem was that they they didn't have enough seats on the first day, so they kind of put stools out and stuff, and we were literally looking at the people watching the film, and we had to turn our head to watch the screen. So that
oh,
yeah, that wasn't very good. And then what happened was that he made a mistake on the timings of the films. So our film, I think he thought that I sent in an episode, but I sent mine as a short film because it was called the Short Film Oregon Short Film Festival. So I was sending mine as a short film, and I don't understand why he assumed that it was an episode. So obviously mine's ran for 28 minutes, and so because it ran for 28 minutes, they couldn't. They ran over, so you had to hire another theater out to finish it off. So, and also they showed it in the wrong format as well, so it was a bit squished, which was a bit annoying. But that's the thing with festivals, you see. They can do that, and if they're not aware of the technology, then they do that a lot. So this is not the first time I've been to a festival where they've shown films in the wrong format. um so yeah. And also another thing that because I was staying with my cousin, because my cousin lives in Oregon, and another thing that we found really odd is that they had the award ceremony. So there was 4 days, right? So I think it was Wednesday, Thursday. Oh no, it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So they had the first screening on the Tuesday, then the Wednesday, and then they had the awards on the Thursday, which is really odd because the rest of the festival hadn't finished. Usually they have the awards on the last day.
mhm.
So yeah, it was weird because like when people won, they were like, "This film was won, which you can see tomorrow."
Mhm.
So it was a bit odd. But saying that, it was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable enough festival.
Okay. Well, maybe giving us a little insight into the glamour or maybe not so glamorous part of being a filmmaker.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean the best, I got to admit though, the best festival I've been to so far is the New Jersey one. The New Jersey one was really good. Neem, who runs it, he was really caring about everyone's film. And I remember because I went with my sister because I couldn't go with Katie because Katie wasn't well, and went with my sister, and the theater was cold. So it was like, you know, when they put, because it was hot and they put up the air conditioning. Sometimes they put it up too much. So I went up to one of them and I said, look, can you put the air conditioning down? And they were like, no problem. And they put it down. So yeah, and they were really good. And then they had this big spectacular award ceremony at the end. You know, all the people were really nice and they cared about your film and stuff like that. So that was one of the best ones I've been to so far, the New Jersey Film Festival. So yeah. But I don't know, I find it really strange about film festivals because they all seem to be linking with one another, the people that run the festivals. So and I wonder, because they make films themselves, they make web series themselves. So I'm wondering, because like you see these two festivals linking with each other, and then the guy that runs that festival, he's been nominated for certain awards. So it's kind of like, it's a bit odd. that's a bit convenient, you know. And I keep thinking that, but I really don't know. I mean, that's probably just my, well, you know, it's a bit suspicious, let's face it. But then again, that's how it works, isn't it, with awards stuff, isn't it? I mean, even with the Oscars and the BAFTAs, it works that way, doesn't it?
Yes, I was going to say this, just on a much more expensive scale.
yeah. So but yeah, no, it was an interesting experience taking Rebecca around to the various festivals and stuff. So yeah.
Oh, for sure. Well, we have some people in the audience. Moira, Kitty, hello, Ryan, always great to see you. And Bad Wolf 66, he made a comment about Rebecca Gold. He says it has a comic book essence to it.
Yeah, well, that was the idea. I mean, I'm a huge comic book fan. I'm a huge geek, and you know, I'm a huge movie fan. So Rebecca Gold is not. It doesn't live in the world of reality, and I know every film doesn't live in the world of reality, but it wasn't trying to be too realistic. So it does kind of live there. I mean, you could easily make a comic book out of Rebecca Gold. She's I find her an enjoyable character, even though I say so myself, of course, because I wrote it.
Well, for sure, she definitely has the action hero thing.
Yeah.
So I'm giggling. I just saw Moira Kitty trying to make films is a pain in the A-dash.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you can't. I mean, if you want to make films, is it Moira? If you want to make films, and that is your passion, you shouldn't give up, because you also shouldn't be afraid to fail as well. Because, as I said before, failing is part of learning. So you shouldn't be upset that you fail. You should be kind of happy that you failed, because every time you fail, you learn something new. And then you get up to, if you keep trying to get up to the point where you know what's going on, then you'll be able to make a competent short or a competent film, whatever, you know. I'm the new Stan Lee.
Oh,
really? Yeah. But yeah.
Well, besides Rebecca Gold, this does bring up a good point, because that's one thing that Stan Lee did. He had loads of memorable characters that he created.
Yeah.
Why don't you share just a little bit, maybe if anyone hasn't heard, about what is Rebecca Gold? What is her character? What is she?
Rebecca is an assassin, and she is a geek also. She's into pop culture big time. But the reason why she's into pop culture of the 80s is because she's there's a long story behind it, which I won't spoil it because it's for season 2, but she's had her mind sort of wiped. So, but not completely. She has the bits that would if she does a mission, then they wipe her mind off the mission just in case she gets caught, so she won't be able to say anything. And but they don't wipe the core of her, the core person of her, which was, you know, she was a geek and she used to be picked on when she was in school and stuff like that. So that's why she's very much a geek, and she very much refers to films and stuff because she had no friends in school, basically. So that's her character. That's who Rebecca is, and Rebecca's name isn't Rebecca Gold. Rebecca's name is Rebecca Monoratz. That's her real name, which obviously it says it. Jackie says it because Jackie remembers her in the film, and she's gay. That's the thing. So, okay, right. So Katie says she's ready to come on. Hold on. Sorry about this, folks. Kate was meant to be on, but
with technical difficulties traveling around the UK sometimes works out nicely, sometimes. And of course, Katie is the star of Rebecca Gold, the lovely Katie Sheridan.
I'm going to have to talk to her. 1 second. I'm just going to.
Okay, no problem. Yes. Let's see. Says here, question, is Rebecca like some sleeper cell? She has a trigger word. That is a good question for Ian the Mega Geek's going to have to answer that for us. I think it's a very, very fascinating premise. And the fact that in just a short series, just able to get that level of storytelling across, it makes me wonder, you know, if Ian had access to a lot of the money and the production skills, you know, wow, you know, we could really see some really cool stuff. And the way that the movie industry and entertainment is nowadays, it's almost like we can do it ourselves. That you don't necessarily have to go the traditional route. So you never know what might happen into the future. Let me see. While we're waiting, let me see. Yes, quite late over there across the pond. Let me see. I'm going to bring up Rebecca Gold. It says here that, oops, I lost it. There we go. Okay, yeah, Rebecca Gold is a YouTube series, and well, there's loads of information out here on Rebecca Gold. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and try to. I'm going to share it here as we tread some water, waiting for our star. One thing I love about YouTube that it enables me to talk real time with people so far away. It's kind of technology that I would have only dreamed of when I was younger, and it's so nice to be able to make connections like this that we would not have before social media. I know we often like to talk about the evils of social media, but there's also so many good things also about social media. Why isn't this working? It's quite at the moment, but early days at the moment. Okay. We have Katie here, so I'm going to go ahead and add her to the stream. Let me see. Are you ready to go? We are. Yeah. Good evening, Katie.
Hello.
Hi.
The movie star, the star of Rebecca Gold, Katie Sheridan, all the way also over from the pond. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, that's all right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we were just talking a little bit about the character of Katie Gold. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You're an actress. How did you get in touch with Ian and get involved in this project?
I've known Ian for years. We've been friends for a long time, and basically Ian said about writing something that we could do together, something that I could act in years ago. Probably about 7 years ago when we first we first talked about it, and and that's basically, we were friends way before, And we did meet about a potential job a long time ago, and we just sort of clicked and got on well. And that's how I ended up getting involved with Rebecca.
Very nice. So you've been an actress. How did you decide to get into the industry?
I always really liked, singing and dancing and acting when I was young. It was just something I always I went to like a local dance school and really enjoyed prancing around and, that sort of thing. And then I got involved with a children's agency who would, when I was a teenager really, and they would put me up for auditions and that kind of stuff. And the first job I did was something called Cracking the Killer's Code. And I was murdered before the opening credits. But I had a couple of lines, and then I died. And that was the first thing I did on telly, and I was about 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, excellent. Wow. So when you met with Ian and he told you about this character, and how much of a collaboration did you all go through in bringing her to life?
We did quite a lot of rehearsals before Ian's really likes to do rehearsals and stuff, and that's really helpful, from an acting perspective, because I got to meet, Alison, who plays Jackie and stuff, before we actually got to film. And I think we sort of, part of the character I sort of found along the way in rehearsals, working with Alison and Keith and some of the other cast. It just sort of helped me to sort of develop Rebecca, and with Ian's, feedback and stuff in rehearsal and that kind of thing. And it was, obviously it was quite collaborative in some ways. Obviously it's Ian's written it and directed it, and so it's Ian's baby, but it was still quite collaborative in the sense that Ian's very open to talking about things in rehearsal and that kind of stuff.
Certainly am.
No, it seems like Rebecca is a very physical character. Have you done a lot of action kind of things before this?
Not massively, no. I'm quite clumsy, so Ian's had to he's basically hired Mr. Bump to play like a assassin. I just destroying props and breaking things, and so not really. A little bit. I'd done like a sci-fi short before that I got to do a lot of running around with and that kind of thing. So I quite enjoy it, but I wouldn't say that I had a lot of experience with, especially not fighting. I hadn't done anything that involved any kind of stage combat or any kind of stunts before, really. So that was a new experience that I got to do on set with Ian.
Oh, nice.
Ian really appreciated it, sure.
Oh, that's hilarious. And so, as far as the things like the fighting and the shooting, we've looked at the special effects reel. What was it like? What's maybe your favorite story from the set about putting all that together?
My favorite, God, that was
or your least favorite.
I guess one of my favorite things was the biscuit that I had to I've got Jackie. It should have been a really simple thing. I've got Jackie in the car with me, and she's basically freaking out that I'm such a nutcase, and I'm chomping away on a biscuit, and that's the most basic of props. But every time I ate it, it was just falling out of my mouth, or I took too big a piece and then I couldn't say my lines, or it was quite technical. It took a long time for me to master the biscuit.
I remember that day.
Yeah, I think I just remember it because it's on some of the outtakes of me just making a mess basically with a biscuit.
I think you were throwing Alison off a bit because she had to be, what you call it? She had to be serious, didn't you? And you were giggling away, and she was trying to be serious.
Yeah, just chomping away on a biscuit. Yeah. I was just trying to think.
I mean, we did a lot of rehearsals because, as I said, I believe in rehearsals, and that cuts down on time on set because, as I said in the last broadcast, time is the enemy. So we did a lot of rehearsals. I tried to get Katie to understand the character, but then when you create a character for a certain person, they're always going to bring their essence to it. They're always going to bring themselves to it. So I wasn't laying down the law and saying you have to be this way to Katie. I was trying to find the balance between her and the character, which is, I think, what every director does when they direct actors. I don't know how you felt, Katie, but that's the way I saw it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah.
Now, Ian was talking about some of the special effects, or if something went too long, that you'd be in a garage and then you'd have to go and change it to filming the same thing with a green screen. Was this your first green screen experience, or had you done a lot of work with that?
No, I've done quite a bit of green screen stuff before. So it wasn't my first green screen, but what was it? It was my first, like, getting to run around with a gun, and I hadn't really done anything where I had to, I've never played an assassin before, so it was my first time doing that. And that was, it came with its own unique set of challenges and, excitements as well. So yeah, but no, green screen, yeah, I've done before. But the place where we filmed the car stuff, it was quite small, wasn't it? Where we had the car was really in tight to the studio, so we sort of were kind of very tightly sort of squeezed in. But it's good fun, it's good fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just remember during the rehearsals, we had brought a prop gun, and we put it in Katie's hand, and it just it looked huge because Katie's quite small. So we literally had to find a gun that would fit her palm of her hand,
and not look ridiculous.
Yeah, not look huge. But so we found one, and then my props guy, sort of like went to work and made it work and made it look like a real gun, with the silencer on it, the suppressors on it. He created the suppressors on it, so it all kind of turned out really well at the end. And I guess if we had more time, we would have shown Katie how to use a gun properly, because you don't normally shoot with one hand.
No.
You shoot with both. So in the film, she's just shooting with one hand, shooting everybody. That's how good she is. But yeah, I guess. But when you've got hardly any money and no time, that's what you do, really, I guess. But yeah.
Well, it's all about attitude too. That was part of her character. She was just so badass. Boom.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a very unique way of using the gun,
Exactly. Yeah. Now, Bad Wolf 66. He says, "I imagine it's all filmed down south." I'm assuming he's talking South London.
What's he saying? I imagine it's filmed down south. It depends. Is he from London?
Well, see, that's what I don't know, because, of course, when I hear the South, I think the South, and it's like, well, they wouldn't have had so much trouble with the guns if they had been in the South in America. We'd have just gone to the local store and gotten a prop.
He's talking south of England, he says. Oh, I'm from Liverpool. Yeah, it was South London, basically. Okay. We filmed it in, yeah. So he's from Liverpool, yeah.
Ah, there it is. Okay, so so a Liverpool fan. I know mostly with the soccer. Those different teams, but there we are. Okay, south of England. Yeah, so all your filming was in London, correct?
Yes, it was more or less. All of it was in London. Yeah. We set everything up in London, basically. I mean, Katie, you're just outside, aren't you? Outside London.
Yeah, I'm a little outside. Yeah. But it's like, London's close enough. It's
yeah.
Well, I was going to say, being from around London, Katie, or do you do any work in the theater there around the West End?
I have done. Most recently, it's been more, film stuff and TV and commercials and that kind, more screen, I guess. But I have done theatre, and I love doing theatre. Whenever I get the chance to do theatre, it's always exciting, because it's you get that buzz of being live. And when I was young, that's kind of what I wanted to do was theatre, and that's what I sort of, when I started acting, I did more like theatre shows. Was like, before I did any of the telly stuff, I did pantomimes and things when I was a kid, and it kind of made me want to go into doing performing and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's always nice to do theatre.
Okay. Yeah. How would you compare filming in a commercial or an advertisement as opposed to a production, a live production like that? Because commercials they're not very long, but they can be pretty intense. Like what kind of products or what have you done?
Commercials, yeah, commercials can be intense. They're often like a lot of fun. I've done quite a lot of commercials. I quite enjoy filming commercials because you know, you're in and out for a couple of days.
You get
There's
a chair.
obviously there is pressure to, obviously, because it's a, you know, at the end of the day it's a product, and you know that's clients that you want to please and that kind of thing. But you kind of have to put that to the back of your mind and just focus on, like you would with any performance, even though it's a commercial, it's still essentially the same principle of like, I often will just sort of play myself in commercials, if that makes sense. I kind of, you know, and try and get very into whatever it is that I'm doing in the commercial. And they're fast. You have to be on it. You have to be on your game, because, you know, you might only shoot like for a day, and, you know, they might have to get everything done in a day or a couple of days. I did a Virgin Trains one a while back, and a few years ago now, and that we shot for like 4 days, and I'd never known a commercial like shoot for so, and it was lovely. It was so much fun because I was part of a family. There was a little dog. It was so cute. It was just, you know,
yeah, 40 shoot for
yeah.
Usually they do it very quickly.
Yeah,
that's great. Oh
yeah.
my god.
And the dog totally upstaged us all. Like there was a bunch of us acting in it, playing the family, and the dog was like, you know, the main attraction. Really, everyone was like, "Oh, the dog's amazing." We were just like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, people always joke that the people don't like to work with animals because they always clean. But that can be a good thing. Now, as far as the future of Rebecca Gold, and this is also for Ian, are you planning more productions? What's going on with that?
Well, as I said before, I'm planning a season 2. A script has already been written, and I'm going through it again. Actually, I do. I would say this. I do like what I've written, and I think it works. But you know, you can always have a second opinion. I've given it to someone to read, so I'll find out another opinion on it. But sooner or later, after you get so many opinions, you have to make a decision whether you want to, you know, stick with what you actually believe or not, or whether to take the opinions of others and change the script. So I'll have to make that decision soon. But as I said, Katie can speak for herself. Actually, she's kind of very busy this year, and I'm hoping that we can find time to get her to do it. But one thing is for sure, I am going to be shooting it this year. So if Katie can't do it, then I'll have to recast. But I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. But yeah, that's. I'm ready to go, but I just need a few things in place, basically, you know. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So Katie, you're doing some more work. That's what it seems like, if I'm correct. Is there anything that you can share with us about that?
In terms of what I can talk about, it's more what I've already done. I've done a film recently called Give Them Wings, which is a feature film, and it's really lovely. It's set in Darlington, and it's based on the true life story of Paul Hodgson. And basically he got meningitis when he was a baby, and they said he wouldn't live past 5 years old, and he did, you know. And it's basically his life story, and it's a beautiful story. And I play his mum's carer in the film, and his love interest. So it's a really lovely part to play. So that's coming out. I think they're trying to get it ready for this year, but I don't know exact date of when that's coming out. But so we filmed that before Christmas and then after Christmas, so either side. And in the north of England, we're talking about south and north earlier, so we filmed that in the north. And yeah, it was great fun. It's really, really cold there, but lovely.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, filming in the north of England during
winter
time.
We did a day in like a church, and it was so cold. It was like really cold. It was like, oh my goodness, but lovely. It was so beautiful. Like I could see some of the footage like on the you know, on the screen, the monitor, and I was looking. I was like, wow, this is so beautiful, but it's so cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good fun to do, and that should be coming out, I think.
Yeah, because I saw the production pictures, and you were wearing a coat, but then it looked like you were wearing hardly any well, not hardly anything. You're wearing a skirt when you're something like that, and
Yeah,
it must have been freezing. It looks cold actually. Those pictures. Yeah,
it was a bit nippy. So that's the most recent thing that I've just finished that in January, end of January. So yeah.
She's a wanted woman, Katie. That's the thing.
Well, that's a good situation. I guess that's why I was connecting that with maybe you not perhaps being able to. That's a good thing for an actress to have so much work.
Yeah, it's an unpredictable thing, isn't it? Acting, you don't know. I guess that's something like throughout life that I've just kind of come to learn and accept about being an actor, is that it's up and down. You hit really great patches and you hit patches that aren't so great, and sometimes, unless you're like Damian Lewis or something, but if you're a jobbing actor, you don't have that security. You don't really know what's coming, so it's nice when stuff comes and that you're excited about and busy and things like that. So the last few years, touch wood, I've had a nice little run over the last.
You touched wood, didn't you?
I did. I touched actual wood. I'm really weird like that. I love touching wood. I touch wood all the time.
Okay.
And then today I went to touch it, and then because of this whole coronavirus thing, then I didn't touch it. I went to do it, and I was like, shit, I don't want to touch that in case it's got germs on it. Just become really paranoid even about touching wood. So yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. So now some of your work, like this, did I hear you correctly? Is it going to be on the normal television in Britain, or
Give Them Wings? I don't really know where Give Them Wings is going to come out. I think they're looking at taking it to Cannes potentially, and I guess it will. I think they'll try and sell it, and I'm not sure where it's going to end up. When I know, I will be sure to post about it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's an independent film, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
Am I right that? So basically, it's going to be hard for them to get it in the cinema. They might do. You never know. It'll have a limited run. But these days, cinemas are not. They take small films, but they don't really make much money out of it. They make money out of Marvel films and stuff like that. But it's really difficult these days to actually get an independent film screened, and because more or less it'll just end up in Amazon or the streaming channels and stuff like that. I think that's where the money is these days. But independent films these days, it's really hard. If you haven't got a star in it, then it's basically hard to sell.
Yeah.
So,
well, then that starts the whole circle of, if you want to get a big star, you have to have the money to be able to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's very true.
But they do have Katie in their film, so maybe they stand a good chance.
Yeah, well, you never know. That's definitely star power. Yeah.
They had Toya Wilcox is in it. She plays the mum, and my family are big fans of Toya Wilcox. My dad was so excited when he found out I was doing a film with Toya Wilcox. He rang my uncle and he's like, "Malc, Kate's doing a film with Toya Wilcox." So yeah, my dad's
I don't know if you know who Toya is. No.
She might be. Would she known in America?
I don't. The name is not familiar, but it could be like a lot of the British people, actors. We've seen them all.
She's a pop star, though. She's a pop star. Yeah.
She's still gigging now. I went to one of her gigs. She's really amazing on stage.
Oh, there she is. Okay, Toya. Okay, then I guess I really don't know. But I'm terrible with music. Don't quote me on it, because if it wasn't something written before 1920, I probably don't know it.
Yeah. She was. I think she big in the 80s. Was it the 80s or the 90s? I can't remember.
I think the 80s.
80s.
My dad's, as I said, big fan.
Yeah.
There you are.
There you go. One day, some small actress will be saying, "I'm acting with Kate Sheridan." We'll be ringing up her dad as well. So you never know.
We're like, let's look her up. Who is that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You never know. You never know. Just the way the whole thing is. We've talked a little bit with Ian about some of the way the film industry is over there. As an actress, are you kind of? I think you've alluded to it, but you feeling about. I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes that a lot of actors, when they do start to get work, it's they find that they need to be heading over to LA over in the United States, and they're not sticking around because there may not be a lot of opportunities. Is that something that you've looked into or found?
I mean, I came over to LA back in like a long time ago, maybe 2012, I think it was, in 2013. I came over. I really, really liked it over there. I had a lovely time. I made some really amazing friends, and I just had a really, really fun time. And I did go just to I went for like 3 months just to see what it was like and just to get a vibe of it. And I met some really wonderful people, and I met a director over there who's actually from Wales originally, but he lives in LA now, and his name's Paul Dudridge. And he, we met through a mutual friend, and he ended up casting me in one of his films, but he actually filmed it in the UK. So I met him in LA and got to know him out in LA, but then actually ended up filming with him directing the film, and me acting in it back over here in the UK. So it led to work, but it just was work that ended up being back in the UK anyway. So it's kind of a weird process. But I would, it's just an expensive thing, to go out to the States and to try and get a visa and all that kind of thing is not cheap. But I would love to go to, technically I'd love to work out there. I really like LA very much. But it's just it's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? That gamble, obviously, but lots of things, being an actor's a gamble. But I guess at the moment I feel like I'm sort of where I'm meant to be, if that makes sense, over here. But I wouldn't rule out going back over there because I had a great time, and I found people were very open out there to meet with you and talk with you and that kind of thing. It's a nice, it's quite a nice thing to have that openness that I don't know if we have that as much over here. That sort of
because we're English and we're very, very
right. We're like, it doesn't feel natural to but over there they just sort of welcome you in and like, yeah, come in, have a meeting. It's like, really? Okay, know. So
I know that's just sometimes people think about us Americans in that sense that we're almost a little vulgar, a little much. We're always hey, we're just overwhelming with our smiles.
No, it's welcoming. It was, as I said, I really liked how open it was and how people were like, just I just had the best time out there.
Sweet.
Yeah, and some of my closest friends we'd go out there. It's because when you go out to a country that you don't know, and you don't have anyone, all your family and friends are back home, you suddenly find yourself very dependent on the kindness of strangers. And very quickly a lot of those strangers became really close friends because I was, they were just so kind to me, and I just didn't know anyone, and it made such a huge difference. It made me feel really at home there. So I've been back a few times just to visit for a couple of weeks, but I haven't done the whole long stint kind of thing.
What is it? Was it pilot season?
I've never done pilot season. I didn't go for pilot season because I felt like unless you actually had things in place like a visa and things like that, I don't know that you would actually be seen for pilot. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how it works though. That was just a guess. I just was like,
I think that's how it works. Yeah, I think a lot of British actors go for pilot season, but you're right. I think they need to have a visa, a work visa. Otherwise they can't help you, I guess. But you never know. I mean, if they see you and they really like you, they might arrange it so that you can get a
visa.
But that's like a 1 in a million shot, isn't it? So, well, it is, isn't it? Kind of, isn't it? So I don't know, but
because there's so many actors and so many people wanting the same thing that
There's I find when I was in LA, I find everyone that you meet, just like Katie, they're all welcome, and they never say no because somebody told me they can't afford to say no. They say we really love the project and stuff like that, and then like we'll be in touch, and then they never are. So they can't afford to say no, but then that's the business, I guess.
I remember I was talking to an actor, asking an actor, someone's like, why why did you take this role? And the actor said, because I was offered the role.
Well, yeah.
Because someone had asked him, it's like, well, what's your favorite role? He said, my favorite role is the one I've been hired to play. Because he said being an actor and out of work is very difficult.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Even more so for a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say yes. The life of the starving film director, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm not starving, but I do a lot of work. I just feel that I need to do stuff that I'm into. You know what I mean? Because your mind could go numb when you're just directing corporate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's just you do the same thing every time. So your creative juices are not flowing. You're not challenging yourself. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do something, off, rather than do the corporate stuff. That's probably one of the reasons why I really wanted to do Rebecca, because just wanted to do something that I would have fun doing. I mean, it wasn't really much of a chore. Well, I don't think it was. What about you, Kate? Do you think it was much of a chore when we were shooting it?
No, it wasn't a chore. No, it was fun. It was good fun.
Yeah.
It's obviously like whenever you're on set and you're trying to film, on a modest budget, it's always obviously you're under pressure with time and things like that. So there's always like an urgency to deliver, isn't there? But that's with any set really. But no, it was it was fun. It was good fun. I used to like having my little scar. It made me feel in character having my little scar on my face. I don't know why. It's really weird. Whenever I had the scar on, I was like, okay, there she is. There she is.
But it kind of made Rebecca, because one of the fans made a pop, didn't they? What is it, Funko Pop of Rebecca, and and it's got the scar on the face, and if
really
it didn't have that, if you didn't have that scar, you wouldn't be Rebecca, would it? So
no.
But in season 2, she gets it back, just by something happening to her. So it's kind of, I always think of it as a trademark personally, but I don't know. It's kind of,
I liked it. I liked having it for some reason. It just
is it better than the lightning scar on Harry Potter's forehead?
Yeah.
So yeah. But I mean, Katie won a load. She won about 6 awards for Rebecca Girl. So, nice. I mean, it's good. It's good that she's, just goes to prove that she's a good actress. Or it might mean that the competition wasn't very good. That's why Katie won. It could be that.
All around it was very compelling. I mean, the whole production. It was a lot of fun to watch and see something that original. Bad Wolf says here, what if Disney wanted to buy Rebecca Gold? Would you say yes?
I would, but I would still want control over it, because what's been proven time and time again is if you give away your idea to someone, big companies always mess it up. Like, for instance, James Cameron, when he did The Terminator, and he lost the rights to that, didn't he? Halfway through, then he got it back. Then I made that crappy new one. So I think it's important to hold on to the rights, and also big corporations should understand that if the creator holds on to the rights, that every time something gets made, it's going to be the best that it can be, because the creator is the only one that has the passion for it. You hand it over to somebody else, they just see it as a job. I mean, look what happened to Star Wars. They handed it over to Kathleen Kennedy, and look what happened to that. I mean, even though George Lucas, the prequels were a bit rubbish, they were still, you can still feel the passion coming out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it still had heart.
Yeah, but the Disney ones were just there to make money, weren't they? So, but there you go. I would sell it, but that would be the proviso.
There you are.
Yeah.
You're a little too idealistic, or more idealistic than I should say. I'd be like, just give me the money, kids. At my age, I'm just like, pay my bills. I'll sell my soul to Disney.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like look at Sylvester Stallone with Rocky. They wanted to cast somebody else, and He said no. He took a huge gamble, you know, and then they won an Oscar for it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you believe in something, then you should just, you know, you should just follow it through rather than give it up. You know?
Sure.
Mm.
Oh,
Well, what's that?
that's the aliens coming through
All
the
right.
transmission, trying to steal our IPs. But no, those are fun, and I can imagine how, if you haven't really worked on something that's a passion project, am I right, Ian? Working on other people's work, and then doing something that's of your own, that is gratifying.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Katie can pitch in on this because Katie she just finished a pilot for her show that she wrote. Actually, I'm very proud of her. And you know, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Katie. I think you said if they wanted, like, say BBC wanted to take it, and they said you can play the secondary role, you would say yes, yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to have a think about it all. I don't know. I mean, I would pitch for, you know, I guess if you're pitching for a show that you're doing, or, you know, you would, and if you write something for yourself, you would, you know, pitch to play that part, I think. And depends, like, it's basically what you said, the Rocky story with the Sylvester Stallone. Do you stick to your guns? Ricky Gervais, I think, was the same.
Yes, he was.
With The Office. I don't think they wanted Ricky Gervais in that part either. I think he basically him, and I think they just said, like, we're gonna, apparently, and the guy that, what's his name, Steve,
the tall blonde guy.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name. Yeah.
I think they both were like, we're going to direct it and I'm going to act in it, and that's kind of what we're going to do. And so it's about whether you believe, you know, and want to stick to your guns with it, or whether you just want to get it made, you know, essentially. And it is a gamble. Like for that Rocky story, there may be people we don't know about who did the same thing and it didn't go. Who knows? But I guess if you have that belief and you feel that that's the right thing to do, I guess you judge it on, you make a judgment call based on at the time, based on the people you're talking to, and based on everything. And I guess when your gut feeling at that time, and I'm guessing the gut feeling of people like Sylvester Stallone and Ricky Gervais at that time was like to stick to their guns. So I think the gut feeling took me, then I and I think it's important to try and stick to your guns. So who knows?
Yeah, I do. I totally agree with you. I think you should. I mean, you know, you wrote that part for yourself, so you know, there's a, I don't know if you've seen that film called Ed Wood. It was Johnny Depp played him. You know, there's a famous director called Ed Wood. Yeah, and there's that scene in it where he's in the bar and he meets Orson Welles, and he says to him, "What shall I do?" And Orson Welles says to him, "You know, why make something where somebody else is going to get credit for it? You know, why don't you just go all the way?" So I do believe in that. If you're going to make something, you might as well just go all the way with it. Even if you lose, you can, you know, you'll still learn something off it. You know, and if you have faith in yourself, then you know there'll be a second chance or a third chance or a fourth chance, and you just got to believe in it. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think, anyway. What I think.
Oh no, I mean, no, that's great.
Yeah,
you're not as cynical as I am. How did you manage it?
No, it's just. I mean, you know, I've been trying to do this for years and years and years, and you know, I have had some success, but it's all bittersweet. You know what I mean? I'd want to make something that got out there, and that a lot of people have seen. I mean, a lot of people have seen some of the films I've done, but it's just I still got this thirst for making stuff, you know. And it just doesn't go away. I wish it would go away, to tell you the truth, so I can just roll into life.
Don't.
Okay, I lie there. Katie knows me so well.
You wouldn't know what you're doing.
I know.
Well, no, I know the feeling. I'm in, as I said, the classical art, music arts, and yeah, sometimes there does come a time where there's some little part of you that maybe wishes you weren't a creative person, because to be a creative person, to bring out the music in others, to be conducting, which is what I do, it's It's hard because sometimes your emotions just get so overwhelming. You're thinking maybe it'd be better if I was just boring.
Yeah, I do think. I don't know about you guys, but I do think that sometimes. I have this. One of my best friends is he drives me to set, and I used to go to school with him. I remember he put things in perspective as we were driving over London Bridge. We always drive at 8 o'clock in the morning to get to the set for 10. And as we're driving, we see this whole line of people walking over the bridge, and they've got their suitcases, and the women have trainers on their feet because they're going to swap it for heels when they get into the office. And you see them walking, and then Keith says to me, "Look over there." He says, "Look at those 9-to-5ers. You got to thank God you're not doing stuff like that." And I do, and I look at them and I think, yeah, thank God I'm not doing something. Waking up every day at 7. Fighting yourself in the tube and then getting out of there and then walking over the bridge and then sitting down for X amount of hours just at a computer. That drive me nuts. That really would. I mean,
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to be doing that either. I think it boils down to you do what you're passionate about. Because there's some people I know that really dig that. They're into computers.
Me too, yeah. There's a lot of people I know that dig that.
But Katie started at a young age. Mm-hmm. How old were you when you started? Oh, she was in a Nickelodeon show as well. So, yeah. And,
back in the day.
Back in the day when you were young.
Oh my God! I was very young.
Yeah, so she was in a really successful Nickelodeon show over here, and some people recognize you, don't they, when you're on the street and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when the show was out at the time, I used to get recognised a lot. Now, sometimes still people recognise me, and it's very flattering to think that 15 years later, I still look vaguely because 15 years ago, I'm like, oh my God, you recognise me? You think I look the same? You can tell it's me? That's amazing.
But when I was on a live stream, I think it was I can't remember which live stream. I think it was Daniel's live stream. Somebody actually wrote in saying, your star of Rebecca Gold, she looks so familiar. And then I wrote back saying, yeah, she was in Genie in the House. And she went, oh my God, it's her. so that's going to follow you around until you become a huge Hollywood star, I guess, and start making big movies, and then you'll be remembered for that, won't you? I guess.
Well, fingers crossed, Ian.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. These things follow you around, I guess, until you make something else, and then yeah.
I mean, it's always nice. I mean, obviously, some people didn't like the show, obviously, but it's always nice when usually the people that come up to you when they recognise you tend to be the people that liked it and watched it. So it's always lovely when someone comes up and says, like, "Oh my God, you were a big part of my childhood." Like, it's a really unique, weird feeling, because when I was young, I used to watch Nickelodeon. So I'd watch things like Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, and Kinel and Kel, and all that kind of, Sister, those kind of American shows. And when I watched Nickelodeon, it never even occurred to me like I could be on it, one day. And they was like shows like Sabrina was such a big part of my childhood that it was very strange and surreal when Genie came out. And then especially down the line when people were like, oh yeah, it's such a big part of my childhood, I used to watch it when I got home from school and all that kind of thing. It's just a really lovely, it's quite unusual to feel that you've impacted someone's youth in a nice way. It's weird, but lovely.
But how I'm taking over the questions here. How did you
go for it.
But how did you feel though when you saw like I'm assuming you did loads of them, and then after you done the season, there was X amount of time, and then it was on TV. How did you feel when you first saw yourself on TV, on that show? I mean, did you feel proud, or did you feel embarrassed, or can you watch yourself on screen?
Yeah, I can watch myself. I'm the queen. Sometimes I don't always like it. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, and other times I'm like, oh God, no, that was not good. Because it's difficult. It depends. Like, as I've got older, I'm a bit more critical. When I was younger, I was just it's just like, oh my God, I'm on the telly. Like, Mum, it's so cool. But yeah, it was. What is that?
That's you.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. But I don't
That's
know. Who
funny.
put this up?
Shut up.
That's hilarious. Oh my god,
That's cute. So that was you on the blue there.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the question. What was the question?
No,
Oh,
just wondering how you felt when you saw yourself on screen.
oh yeah, it was weird, but really cool because, as I said, because it was Nickelodeon, and I just like grown up watching that show, like not that show, watching that channel and loving all the shows on it. So it was really incredible to. But I'd gone back to waitressing because I'd finished college, and then we shot Genie for like 4 months, and I got a job at the Harvester waitressing. And then after Jeannie finished shooting, I went back to the Harvester. And then Jeannie came out whilst I was working there as a waitress. And people would like obviously recognise me working the Harvester and be like, why are you working in the Harvester when you're on Nickelodeon? It doesn't make any sense why you're a waitress and you're on Nickelodeon. Like, aren't you rich? And I'd be like, no, I'm not rich. No, obviously got paid, but I'm not rich. And yeah, so it was quite surreal but it's just cool. I love being part of the show. It's very cheesy. Obviously, it's quite a cheesy show. But I love a bit of cheese.
But you know what? You don't look much different there now.
It's not quite true, but
No, not really. I mean, yeah, you've gotten a bit older, but you still, your features obviously hasn't changed that much. I mean, how many years ago was that? That was what, 15 years ago?
It was I think it was 15 years that we did the pilot, the first episode. And yeah, we did it. It took up about 4 years. I was at college when I auditioned for it. I started when I was like sort of 16, 17, maybe 17. And then by the time we finished, I was at university. I think I was about 22 by the time the show finished.
Yeah.
I used to film it in the summer holidays after of uni, seasons 2 and 3 went across the summer holidays of university.
Yeah.
And obviously, like a lot of my friends at uni thought it was a bit strange and would take the piss out of me for the opening credits, where I used to skip and dance around and point at my name and they play it.
And why not?
Be like, oh my god, look, Katie, it's Judy. And it's good. It was a really fun show to be a part of, and always be very grateful for that experience. And we shot 2 episodes a week. We did 78 episodes in total. It was a huge learning experience. I learned a lot from it. Taught me a lot on the job kind of thing.
But for a long time, I was only remembered for the Killing Zone for a very long time. But that it kind of follows you around unless you do something else to kind of clear that slate, if you know what I mean. Clear the slate away completely.
Hilarious.
But yeah, I don't know. It's really, it's really hard to try and get anywhere in this business. It's so difficult. I mean, I don't want to put people off, but you got to be prepared to, well, I wouldn't say waste your life, but to be in that corner where you're just fighting for something all the time. So, but as I said, for me, I don't really know anything else now, so I just got to keep going till I drop dead, I guess. But I mean, that's the thing. You see, what else can I say about this? I'm not going to lie, because everybody knows that I'm kind of. I don't really exaggerate about my career or what I'm doing. It's good that I'm making stuff, but it's no cigar, if you know what I mean. So I'm just hoping that one day somebody will realize that I have talent and hire me or commission Rebecca Gold or something, because Rebecca Gold it's a good thing. I think it's quite good, and I think there's a lot of people that like it, but I think it suffers from not being out there totally, if you know what I mean. I don't have enough money to advertise it properly, and talk to the right people and stuff like that. Because as I said, I don't really consider myself part of the British film industry. I only consider myself as an independent filmmaker, which is what I am. But when I talk to people, they think, oh, so have you directed for the BBC? Have you directed for ITV? I'm like, no, I haven't ever. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've directed one thing for the BBC and one thing for ITV. But it's tough. It's really tough, But there you go. I digress.
For sure, and that's the the whole thing about show business. It's always a bit of a gamble.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm just looking here. Just a second. Seeing. Are you up here? Oh, you have an IMBD.
Who?
You.
Me? Yeah. Yeah. But it's you know what, right? My I look at Katie's IMDb, right, and it's really good, right, because you've got all these pictures and stuff, and you've got a really nice picture, whatever. But I can't get my head around putting stuff on IMDb. Did somebody help you, Katie? Because I can't. I really can't do it.
I don't know. I didn't get some stuff I didn't put on there. Some stuff I put on there, and some stuff was already on there from when I was, I guess, from June.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't really need to. I never really learned about IMDb until we did Match Not Found, the web series that I did, because I uploaded the episodes that we did on there, and that's when I sort of learned more about IMDb. It can be quite tricky to. It took me a while to figure out how to put the episodes of Match Not Found on there. It's quite confusing.
Like, for instance, see that picture there of Rebecca Gold, right? So I didn't know that the pictures had to be portrait, right? So I put up a landscape picture, and to this day I still can't figure out how I can change that. I keep trying to change it, but it won't let me change it, and I just gave up in the end. I went, you know what? If it's so difficult to put one single picture up properly, then what? I'm just going to give up, because it's pointless. So it really annoys me, IMDb. I don't understand why things are not simple. Why can't you just load up a picture and then take it off again? And do you know what I mean?
It probably really is a way to do it. We just don't know what it is.
But
it's a way to do that. It must be.
Oh, look at this picture. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, look at you with your little cap. That cap.
Yeah.
I think that was
you here too.
Yeah, it's me. That's me when I didn't need glasses to see. That was a long time ago. Yeah. So yeah, I've done quite a lot, but as I said, it's not really gotten me anywhere, basically. But there you go. Such is life. Yeah. Are you still there? She's still there? Is she gone?
I don't know.
She's cut herself off.
Her out with your depressing.
That is not depressing.
Because of you, Ian.
I wasn't being depressing. I was just saying.
Like, oh God, I can't go on. I'm just going to end this podcast now and end my career. Too much.
I do have a lot of faith in myself, of course, but I just refuse to be like Facebook, where everything is perfect, because it isn't. Do you know what I mean? And I think that I think telling the truth is probably the best thing to do, really. That's what I think. I don't know about you.
Oh, there she's
back. Sorry, I kicked myself. Right.
Oh, right. Okay.
Ian put you off the industry.
There you go. Yeah, they came and got me.
No, I didn't mean for it to come across depressed.
No, it wasn't. I'm joking. I'm teasing. It wasn't depressing. It was just
good.
I just took the opportunity to tease you.
I kicked myself. Sorry about that. Yeah. Bad Wolf, he did have a question about a copyright and IP back here. I wanted to get to. How would you copyright such things? I think he's talking about his about ideas or IP.
Well, in the old days, what you used to do is when you wrote a script and you wanted to be copyrighted, you sent it to yourself with a stamped thing on the envelope, and then you don't open it, and that proves that you wrote it and it was stamped with a date. But now that doesn't work in the court. You literally have to register it with Congress, I think, in America, and that's even in England you have to do that. And that because Rebecca Gold is registered in Congress in America, because my boss, who shares the copyright with me, my boss, he did that for me, and he's a lawyer, and he lives in Canada, so he did that. So Rebecca Gold was protected. It's been copyrighted, so no one's going to rip us off there. So so that's how you do it, really. And and if you write something that's really good, it is best to copyright it. Otherwise, they say that every time you think of an idea, hundreds of people around the world are thinking of the same idea. So, you know, you have to get it out fast, I guess. So, yeah. But yeah. But, you know, copyright, what's this? I animate, script, voice, edit myself. It takes ages, but it's worth it. I feel like I'm a one-man production company. Join a club, mate. Join a club. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you just got to keep going. You know, should I say something positive?
Yes.
Say something positive.
Just keep going.
Say something good about the industry.
Just keep swimming. Just keep
Keep
swimming.
swimming. Yeah, that's it. That's it. But you're gonna forget anyway. So, but there you go. But yeah.
Well, like with Rebecca Gold, like with about the one-man production company thing, it's empowering to make your own stuff, isn't it? Like when we did the web series, when I did the Match Not Found thing, it was quite empowering. With Rebecca Gold, it's quite empowering to create to not wait, to just go out and create your own work is something that, you know, more and more people are doing now, and I think it's a good thing.
But you're because Katie did a web series called Match Not Found. And your web series won awards as well, didn't it? I think it won.
Not but recently, because obviously it was quite a while ago that we did it. But yeah, it did. We did Rain Dance. Got nominated at Rain Dance, and the International Online Web Fest one that you did as well, and different ones. Yeah, it was. You know, again, I really enjoyed doing that. It was kind of cool. It's stressful making your own thing because there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of, you know, you have to be wearing a lot of different hats and stuff, but it's also really rewarding to create something yourself, and you know, it is your baby, isn't it?
I try not to get stressed especially when I was doing Rebecca Gold. I refused to get stressed. And you know, and just make sure that everybody's got what they need, you know, like from runners straight through to you guys, straight through to the camera department and costume department and stuff. You know, just make sure that everybody gets, and because of the experience I've had for the last 20 years, when something goes wrong, I don't really panic anymore. I always say to myself, what will be will be. If we don't complete it today, then I'll have to come back and do it again. So, you know, I can't be asked to be pressured anymore on anything, you know, because, you know, when you're pressured, it kind of disrupts your health, doesn't it? When all that stuff starts happening. When I was young, I used to panic a lot, you know, making stuff because it was oh, bless you. So yeah, I mean, I try not to panic. What's this? As long as Rebecca won't be ruined by woke politics, then keep up the great work. I don't think Rebecca is woke. Do you guys think it's woke?
No, I mean, I think that perhaps maybe what he's saying is that it won't be, but that's maybe more of a commentary on something else. Correct me if I'm wrong here. My thing is the subject matter, whether it's quote unquote woke or not, or political or not, is not really the big deal. It's if it is part of the story, if it's organically part of the story, then it's one thing. It's only when it feels like it's just inserted, then it sticks out like a sore thumb. But any topic for me is fair game so long as it's done well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but I mean, somebody said to me, you got two girls that are the lead. You got all the men being bad, apart from Zayd, of course, and you got a black guy as a bad guy. So I kind of think I kind of failed there, but it wasn't because originally Tony's part, who played obviously Mr. Kill, was meant to be played by my friend Jamie, and Jamie, because if you look at the storyboards, I drew the storyboards like Jamie's got a long beard and he's big. But Jamie couldn't do it in the end. And at the end of the day, I don't know if you remember William. He was on he's doing the making of. You remember William, Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my friend and his friend and Tony. So Tony decided to do it, and that was at the last moment. So Tony decided to do it. So, and it just so happens he was black. So I wasn't, I didn't go out of my way to cast a black guy to play a bad guy, put it that way. So, yeah, because a lot of people say, yeah, what you're talking about is woke. And I'm like, well, it isn't really. I don't think it is. I didn't intentionally do what's in, you know, in the script and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, if you look at it that way.
No, it was. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Katie.
No, you go. You go.
Oh, I was just going to say, no, I didn't get that impression. He didn't said wasn't saying it was woke yet. So
No,
I think
I
I
know he wasn't.
understood him correctly.
No, I don't
He
what
was
yeah.
saying. Ultimately, sounds like what he's saying is keep it good. And of course, I have faith that you will. And if you don't, then you suck.
Thank you.
No, you
But,
you
yeah,
do you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we did our. I mean, I said Katie can justify this. We did our best with the time that we had. You know, I mean, we weren't stupid. I didn't write something that we couldn't shoot. You know, it just so happens that it was, you know, it was a challenge, but it wasn't. I didn't have the challenge too much, so that we didn't stand a chance to complete it. You know, I mean, even because we did that scene with the fake bottle with Katie, even with something like that, I had to go all the way to Pinewood to get those broken bottles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was me. It wasn't like an assistant because I didn't have any assistants. So I had to go all the way there, and I had to hold it on the train because, you know, just in case somebody kicks it. Do you know what I mean? So it was always on my lap all the time. You know, it's just little things like that I remember from Rebecca Gold. Those little things that people don't know about. You know, trying to get that prop to work on the door because it had to light up at a certain time. And Bruce, he's plays one of the bodyguards. He was the props guy. So he was trying to get that to work as well. You know, just little things that kind of throw you off slightly. But for me, there was no need to panic because if it didn't work, there'll be another way around it. Usually in post, basically. So yeah. But I don't know. Anyway, I digress.
This is a pretty hot topic, if I'm correct on this, about what happened on Doctor Who. Is that what he's referring to?
Yeah, Chibnall. Yeah, well, yeah, basically what happened in Doctor. Well, we shouldn't be talking about Doctor Who. Should we be talking about? Because Kate doesn't know anything about Doctor Who. So, but
I don't really watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe a subject for another time. We can go into the Doctor Who. I quit watching it when Matt Smith left, so I haven't really been following it for several years.
But if you were offered a part to play the companion, Katie, you'd do it, wouldn't you?
My God, yeah, it would make my dad's a big Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
As in like, and he like collects, you know, the memorabilia or whatever it's called from it and stuff.
All right.
It would make my dad's life probably if I was the companion in Doctor Who. I don't think my dad would be able to contain himself.
All right.
The excitement of God, yeah, that would be. My family would be proud.
Just imagine if you got cast as Doctor Who, because Doctor Who's a woman now, so that your dad probably faint, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be, you know, I mean, to be honest, either part wouldn't turn it down. Like, you know,
well, anyone would be insane to turn down a role like that. That's the role of a lifetime.
Be nice to do it, but yeah, it would be. My dad would be chuffed.
But
it would be made up.
If you could take any part though, you know, on TV, what would you ideally want to do in the end? You know, I mean, you've yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying. You know,
there is so much that I want to do that it's hard to. I'd like to play something. I really enjoyed. Did you see The Capture?
No, what's that?
The Capture. It was this series. I'm probably not going to do it justice describing it. I don't want to give spoilers to people that haven't seen it. But basically, it's a series about this soldier. He's seen it on CCTV doing thing, and it's kind of like, did he do it? Did he not? You know, that kind of thing. And I think it's Holiday Granger who plays the cop, the detective girl in it. And I just thought like the whole thing was really great. I really enjoyed it, and I would love to play a part like that.
A detective.
the yeah, she's really impassioned, like as the cop, she's really impassioned, she's really like, she kind of gets to the bottom of the thing, she's tenacious, she's quite feisty but quite vulnerable. It's a really lovely part. And I'd like to do something like that. I'd like to do something more like, you know, when I did the sci-fi short, the biopunk thing, I'd love to do more sort of maybe like actiony sci-fi thing. I'd love to do something like that. And, you know, I want to do a period drama. I wanted to do a period drama forever.
You want to get into those dresses.
I want to get into a bonnet and a dress, and I want to be in a cool. I just want to, you know, I want to be, you know, running around in the rain, kissing hands like Mr. Darcy.
Mr. Darcy.
No, don't talk about Mr. Darcy. This woman's going to go crazy.
Everybody loves. Well. Everyone should love Mr. Darcy. It'd be written by Andrew Davies, right? One of his.
Is it Colin Firth that played Mr. Darcy? Is that the one you're referring to, Teresa?
He plays Bridget Jones as well.
Yeah. Oh, Colin Firth. But I'll tell you what. Every actor that has played Mr. Darcy, Sir Laurence Olivier played Mr. Darcy back in the black and white. Yet Colin Firth. There was some hottie in the 80s version. Yeah. And then that one dude who did the one with Keira Knightley, he was something to look at.
Oh, who is he?
I can't remember. He's young, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mr. Darcy was the best character
was
ever.
It? What? Who is it?
What is his name?
Is it Dominic Cooper?
Could be. Google. But certainly... Yeah, that one was a little fanficky, especially... No, it wasn't Dominic Cooper.
Who was it?
Oh, he was in one of the Sense and Sensibility versions.
Ah.
Yeah. But when he's coming out of the mist at the end of the movie.
It would just be nice, wouldn't it? It would just be nice to do a period drama. I'd love to... I have obviously, like, the Give the Wings thing set in the 80s, so that's, you know... Period. And
no.
I did Heretics as a horror that was set in the like 17th century, so that they all had bonnets, but I was like the creature, so I didn't get to wear a bonnet because I was a dead possessed nun kind of, you know, so I didn't.
But you did float. Yeah. Did you not float in one scene?
Yeah, it was well cool. I got to be on a harness on green screen, and it was like. So I got to, like, you know, go up and down, and I felt like a superhero, but a really unattractive one. So I was like covered in like greasy hair and like prosthetics. And I was like, yeah, you know. So, but it was so cool, the flying around thing. I really just, again, I felt empowered. I felt bad off. I was like, wow, this is the coolest I'm ever going to be. Even though
I don't know. I think Rebecca's cool. I don't know.
I just there's something really fun about flying around on a harness. I don't know. Cool. Like, not that I'm the best at stunts, as you know, but with that I was all right. I was quite, you know.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And they told me it was going to really hurt. There was one of the girls had done it like before, and she was like, "Oh, it's really painful in the harness." So I was expecting it to be, but it wasn't actually. I didn't find it too bad. Maybe I wasn't up there long enough to
yeah, maybe. I don't know. It also depends on your weight as well, doesn't it? Because, well, I don't know. That's a stupid thing to say, isn't it? Depends on your weight. It's a stupid thing to say. Strike that from the live.
Yeah. That's all right. But yeah, no, it was fun. It was really fun. Yeah. But yeah, so no, I'd like to do a little, like, a period thing with a bonnet. I want to be in a bonnet.
Oh, bonnet. Everyone loves a bonnet. At least I do. I actually have a few bonnets for... as a hobby, way back when I used to do Civil War reenacting. That's a big thing over here in the U.S. And so I have a replica 1860s wardrobe, and I've kept the wardrobe because they were awesome. So use them to dress up if there's ever any dress up parties. And so I've got some bonnets. So I don't have a Mr. Darcy though. I gotta find one of those. That's the best prop ever.
Kind of like cosplay, isn't it? Cosplay.
Yeah, it's a little different though. It's called Living History because it's all completely accurate to the period, and often there are these events, and you go to the actual battlefields and tell the history. So it's it's a different style of it for sure.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. Yeah. I mean, I'm just wishing for the day when loads of people are cosplaying Rebecca Gold. That'd be quite cool.
That would
that would be really cool, right?
I wish I could pull off cosplaying as Rebecca Gold. Not quite, but that's okay, you know.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, so we're talking about, speaking of her dream roles, what would be your dream thing to direct? Besides what you're already directing, of course, if you had a choice of anything.
I would love to. I would love to do a James Bond film. I would love to direct a James Bond movie. Definitely. I would have a very different take on it though. So they probably wouldn't allow me to do it. And I would love to do a Star Trek movie. But I think that franchise is dead now. And I always wanted to direct a Spider-Man film, but that's done. And I would like to be showrunner for Doctor Who. So that'd be awesome.
Save Doctor Who.
Yeah, I would save it. I'd probably get in trouble with the BBC, but I'll definitely save it. I have so many ideas on if I was the showrunner for how to fix it and how to make it better. Because I always thought that with Doctor Who, the problem is the writing. The writing's not very good in it. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Katie disagrees with me. I don't really think much of British drama. I know Katie you love British drama, don't you, Katie?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some really good British drama. The Capture was a British drama. That was really good. Yeah. I also quite like the Strike.
There was one called The Stranger. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen The Stranger.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like the British end is catching up with the Americans, and they seem to do really good drama. But majority, as far as I'm concerned, majority of drama in England, I just can't connect with it for some reason at all. I can connect more with the American drama, but British drama have problems connecting to the characters and stuff. I don't know. It's just me, I guess.
Okay, well, I eat up a lot of the stuff coming out of Britain. I think that it makes most of what we produce, blows it out of the water. I like a lot of the television.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
no, you're so enthusiastic.
But I mean, look, for me, right? I find writing British dramas, the way they write characters, I don't find it imaginative. You know, if you watch something like House and you see the stuff that he says, that's really funny and sometimes really moving. It's way ahead of what British people have been producing for years and years and years. And it just seems to me that British dramas have a tone that they don't want to change ever. And then if you look at the American dramas, especially TV shows, the dialogue is so fast and it's so on the ball, if you know what I mean. I mean, you just got to look at something like Friends, and their humor is like, I think it's every 2 minutes there's something funny, you know. And then when you watch a sitcom in England, it's kind of not like that, you know what I mean? So it's just it's very different. When I try to write dialogue, I always try and write it from my point of view. What would I say? So when I was writing for Rebecca, I was thinking to myself, what would I say, or what would Katie say? And then I try and find the middle ground on how she would say it. I think Katie had problems saying some of the lines. I think you did, didn't you?
Some of the dialogue I felt was grown up for Rebecca. Not grown up, but
juvenile.
No, there were references like that I felt like beyond her years, because she's meant to be the bits that were like more, you know, you said the characters kind of you and me combined. Yeah. I guess the bits that were more you. I was like, some of it but I had to just ask you for references, didn't I? Because I didn't some of the like I hadn't seen Highlander. I didn't know when you with the reference to Highlander and things like that. And I was like, what's Highlander? But but no, I mean, I think it's good to draw in your own thing for writing. I think is always a good thing though, because it's truthful. You know?
I just sometimes I've got to listen to you very carefully, and I think I did when I was writing season 2, I think I did try to capture the way you speak in real life, and then try to add a little bit of me, less of me. But I don't know whether that came across, because I know you read the script. I don't know whether that came across, but
no, it did.
yeah. And I tried to stick to the, because Rebecca's very quirky, and everybody has to remember that Rebecca doesn't she doesn't she doesn't really deal with people. You know, she shoots people, she kills people, but she doesn't really deal with them. And Jackie's her first person that she's really, you know, become attached to and wants to know. Apart from, I guess, Jeannie and her new handler, she wants to know them. But it's very difficult for her because she's not allowed attachments. She's not allowed friends. She's not allowed family because of the job that she does. So of course she's going to be lonely. Do you know what I mean? So, but that's, I don't know, because I think you captured that quite well, Katie. I think.
Thank you.
yeah. But that's who she is, and you know, I have to consider that when I'm writing. But she does grow more in season 2 than season 1, obviously, because there's only 5 episodes. There's more in season 2, but she does grow, and she does stick her neck out for a lot of people, in fact. So yeah, it's difficult writing for a character, especially when you have to, because I don't know if people do that when they write for a character. That I always take in consideration who's playing that character, and I try to listen very carefully how they speak. Like with Keith, because I know him very well, so I try and get his essence in that character. But this is the first time I worked with you, Katie, so it was a bit difficult for me to try and get who you are, and I think I got it on the second. But then again, only you can tell me.
I think you got it on the first as well. Like I think, like, you know, the comment was, it's gone now, but it said something about Rebecca is a lonely character, socially awkward and a lonely character.
Yeah,
she is, isn't she?
Yeah, and
Very socially awkward.
Yeah, and you know, and she's odd. She's odd as well. Like there's that bit with the biscuit. You know, she doesn't connect with Jackie's fear. So when Jackie's giving it, you know, she's let me out the car. She doesn't connect with that at all. You know, she's like, you know, have a biscuit, that'll calm you down.
Yeah,
it doesn't. So, you know, so she, you know, there's basically something wrong with her. But yeah, but it's because of the procedure. Every time they do the procedure on her, she loses certain things, but she never ever forgets her pop culture stuff. But yeah, things are removed from her mind. So and it's more clear in the second season than it is in the first, because as I said, we wanted to leave questions for everyone on the first, so they could want a second season. So, but yeah, I don't know, and I got to talk to Alison about Jackie's role as well. So I think more writing is needed. I just need to hear people. I need a table read to hear how people will say that dialogue, and then it'll be corrected again, if you know what I mean. So yeah, table reads are really important. I think we didn't do that in the first one, but we should have, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, no.
Wow. Well, it's coming up an hour and a half. I'm going to start winding down this party. It's very late for you all, I know, up there. A lot later than it's for me. I wanted to say thank you so much, Katie, and thank you, Ian, for coming on and being a part of the show. I really enjoyed talking and hearing everything that you all have to say about the industry and acting and Rebecca Gold. Really appreciate it.
No worries.
Thank you. That's all right. Thanks for,
thanks for having us. Yeah, thank you.
Well, is there any last things you might want to plug? Anything that you want to say before we head out?
Not really. I mean, all I can say is for people to sub Rebecca Gold and watch it when they can. For this wonderful lady called Katie Sheridan. Watch Katie Sheridan, because she's worth watching. She's going to be a big star one day, unfortunately, and then she's probably not going to remember me when I'm walking down the street. Katie, it's me. It's like, who? So,
Don't be daft.
she'll probably have her bodyguards with her as well. So push me out of the way. But yeah.
Oh dear. But yeah, no, thanks for having us. It was lovely to chat with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's very nice. Okay, so thank you for all those that popped in. Thank you, Bad Wolf, for your questions. Keely Chow, everyone that popped in. Have a fantastic evening, everyone, and check out Rebecca Gold.
Yep. Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye. Bye.
Press the leaves.